Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello friends, I'm Chaezahrani from Public Administration 6A. Before starting the presentation, I would like to thank you for watching this presentation. This presentation discusses about human right protection in the state of Indonesian law. Definition of human rights according to Jan Matterson. Jan Matterson said human rights could be generally defined as those rights which are inherent in our nature and without which we cannot live as human beings. In this slide about Roosevelt argued that in life, human society and state have four freedoms, namely point 1, freedom of speech and express an opinion. Point 2, freedom of religion. Point 3, freedom from fear. And point 4, freedom from poverty. The basis of our country is Pancasila contains the thought that human created by God Almighty contain two aspects, namely individualist and social aspect. Therefore, freedom everyone is limited by human right other. This means that every carries that obligation to recognize and respect the right other people's right. This obligation also applies for every organization at the level anywhere, especially the state and government. And next, the above discriminatory actions constitute a violation of human rights, whether vertical against citizens or vice versa, and horizontal between citizens alone, and not a few enter in the category of gross human right violation, gross violation of human rights. What is meant by human right violation? We include point A, mass murder, B, arbitrary homicide or extrajudicial killing arbitrary, C, torture, divorce, forced disappearance, E, slavery, and F, discrimination that is carried out systematic discrimination. Conceptually, it can be stated that what is meant by human rights violations is every act of person, group is good intentional and unintentional negligence against the law thus hinder limit the human rights of a person group. What is guaranteed by law is feared not will get a fair legal solution and true based on legal mechanism applicable. This slide about human rights regulate in the United Nations or UN Declaration. UN Declaration in brief explain a set of basic rights human who are very full of rights juridical, such as the right to life, the right not to be slaves, the right not to be tortured and detained, equal right before the law, the right to get the presumption of innocence, and etc. Other rights are also included in the declaration, such as the right to nationally ownership and to right to embrace religion and obtain education, work, and life culture. Okay, this slide will explain about correlation between human rights and the state of law. You can read in presentation, correlation between human rights and the rule of law very closely. Human rights are basic rights or citizenship attached to individual since he was born naturally, given directly by God Almighty, one that cannot be snatched away and revoked existence, and must be respected, upheld, and protected by state, law, government, and very people of honor and protection human dignity and worth. If government does it with power, then the person who sits in that government will be ensnared by law. But even then, if it's against with the laws and regulation that apply other relationships in concept, a state of law is explained that the state, the law, has one characteristic, namely citizens. The state must get protection. HAM, HAM, or human rights, because if it is violated, it will contrary to the principle of the rule of law itself. This slide will explain about protection and enforcement of human rights in Indonesia. Things that can be seen in real such a state institution as devote to protecting human rights of a person, like Commission for the Protection of Human Rights, Commission for the Protection of Women, Commission Child Protection, and Protection Commission Witness and Victims. In addition, the Indonesian government began carry out legal reforms, with there is a law that regulate regarding to protection of human rights, such as Law 87, Law number 39 of 1900 concerning human rights, Law number 26 years 2000 on the Human Rights Court made Indonesian citizens are more protect basic. But despite the progress that there are still many shortcomings, the government should fix Indonesian. The drawbacks are many in the implementation process, a lot of rules that don't properly implemented by the apparatus our law enforcement. In addition, the institution that have created to protect human rights someone is functioning properly, so that these institutions are not created free and not only as complement state system only, but function in interest of the people Indonesian. Okay, conclusion from this presentation is in the enforcement of human rights reforms is better than the past the new order. During the new order, many once human rights violation carried out, both heavy and light, and at the time there were no laws invitation regarding enforcement of human rights. It's not like the Reformation period have these rules. Many things that the Indonesian government has done in the enforcement and protection of human rights against its citizens, like establishment of special institutions regarding human rights complaints and the existence of legal reform that regulates enforcement and protection of human rights. Okay, this presentation is finished. Thank you for watching, and if I have a mistake from the materials or my speaking, sorry, and goodbye.